Hi friends, Miss Liz here again with another cool creature from my collection. I have my son helping me because this is a big creature. This is our biggest creature that we have here at my house. This is Freddie, and Freddie is a 6-foot boa constrictor. So you know the song that we sometimes sing at nursery school, I'm being eaten by a boa constrictor. Well, this is a real boa constrictor, but he would definitely not eat us. Freddie is huge. It takes 2 of us to hold him. He's pretty heavy. So these guys they live in the rainforest in Colombia or Suriname, and they like to climb trees, but most of the time they spend on the ground looking for food. So this guy eats rats at our house, and every 2 weeks in the warm weather, he gets a big rat. And in the winter, he gets 1 rat about every month. And he eats the rat, and then about a week or 2 later, he poops. So it takes a very long time for this snake to digest his food, to eat his food and get it all through his belly and everything, and then poop it out. And speaking of poop, snakes have a really cool thing called a vent. And I bet you won't be able to see it. Maybe you can. Right here, that's his bum. And it's really cool because snakes, they pee and poop out of the same place. And everybody thinks that snakes are all tail, but really, Freddie's tail is only about this long. So it's pretty short. And girl snakes are actually bigger than boy snakes. So even though this guy is really big, if he was a girl, he'd be even bigger. And they're called red-tailed boas because if he'll unwrap from my table, and let me show you, his tail is red. His tail is darker than the rest of his body, so that's why they're called red-tailed boas. And they sleep in the day, so they're nocturnal. Like I told you about, some of my lizards are nocturnal, but he sleeps, but he is up sometimes during the day basking underneath his heat lamp. He has to use a heat lamp to stay warm because they're cold-blooded, which means that they can't make themselves warm. They need something else to keep them warm. So he's wrapped around my kitchen table now, which is normal for him. He really likes to wrap himself around things. He loves to climb, and he especially likes to climb usually on us, but right now he's wrapped around my table. So he's probably going to stay there. Now, if you can see him, you can see his tongue going out like that, and that's the way that he smells. Snakes have something on the roof of their mouth. It's called a Jacobson's organ, and that is what they use to smell things. So when you see their tongue going out, they're actually just looking for smells and looking to see what kind of smells are out there. And if you look on his face, he does have nostrils, but he uses his nostrils and his lips, mostly his lips, to see heat. So they use those as a heat seeker. And then they can tell, in the wild, they can tell when something is alive because it's hot. And if something's alive, then he can probably eat it. So they use that to find their food, which is pretty cool. Now he's really strong. He's got lots of muscles, like I said, so he can use those for climbing the trees and for finding his food. And sometimes they even like to swim. So Freddie, at our house, in the summertime, we have a little kiddie pool that we put in our backyard when it's warm, and we put water in there, and we let Freddie have a little swim in our kiddie pool. And in the winter, when it's not warm enough for him to go outside, he'll even go for a swim in our bathtub, if you can believe it.
Or he'll have a bath in his...
Or he'll have a bath in his water dish. Yeah, he has a big water dish in his tank that he can go in and have a bath if he wants. And the reason that they have a bath is about once every month, they shed all their skin because they get new skin on underneath. So, and this is what it looks like. So this is one of Freddie's old sheds, and he sheds the whole thing from the tip of his head all the way down to the end of his tail, the tip of his tail. Yep. And it comes off usually all in one piece. Sometimes it breaks off and it doesn't come off all in one piece, but it's a big, pretty, you can hear it. It's kind of crunchy when it comes off. Paper. Yeah, it sounds like paper. And you can tell that he's going to shed because about a week before he sheds, his eyes will turn blue, bright blue. And that's called blue phase. And when he's in blue phase, then we know to look in about a week for his shed in his tank. And it's usually all in one piece. He's pretty good about that. So now another cool thing about boa constrictors is that the mom boa constrictors, they give birth to live babies. So some snakes, most snakes, or a lot of snakes, lay eggs. Like my lizards had eggs. Well, these guys don't. They have live babies, and the moms have about 25 babies at a time. That's a lot of babies to take care of. So they do that, and they can have 25 babies. Like, I think it's like once a month they can have 25 babies, which is a lot of snakes. So, and they can also live to be about 20 or 30 years old. So some of your parents are probably about that age. So you'll understand what 20 to 30 is. That's a long time to have a pet. We're not sure how old Freddie is because we got it, he was a rescue, so we're not exactly sure how old he is, but he's pretty much reached as big as he's gonna get. We think. He hasn't really grown much in a couple years, so we think that he's probably as big as he's gonna get, which is pretty big which is pretty good because he's very big. And he's heavy too.
About 50 pounds. Well,
I would say about 20, maybe 20 or 30 pounds. So anyway, this is Freddie. So I wonder if you can hear him hiss. Sometimes he'll give a hiss. He's a really friendly snake, and he loves hanging out with us on the couch and watching TV and snuggling with us because we're nice and warm, so it keeps him nice and warm. I'm gonna try and get him unwrapped from the table. So
sometimes he goes in the coat.
If you guys can see him and see how big he is, he's gonna go right across both of us. Oh, like this. And there's Freddie. So I'll be back next week with another cool creature. It probably won't be this cool because this is a pretty cool creature. He's pretty awesome. I recommend them to anybody who likes snakes. And if you don't like snakes, this is a very nice snake to have because they're very, very peaceful snakes. They don't really do any harm at all. And you don't need to be scared of them. Anyway, I'll be back next week. I hope you enjoyed this video and I miss you all. Talk to you soon. Bye.